Heya Cryptozens. Tonight's show, SudoRare Rugged, Tornado Cash Reuploaded to GitHub, and 3AC Capital Liquidators to probe financial records. It's 10 p.m. Pacific, and the date is August 24th, 2022. Welcome back to the Crypto Overnighter. My name is Nikodemus, and I'll be your host. The cover model, mascot, and co-host for this podcast is Tex. And together we take a nightly look at the crypto, NFT, and metaverse space and the industry that surrounds it. And keep in mind, nothing in this show should ever be considered financial advice. Rugs are happening at breakneck speed. But you know, if your project is kind of sketchy, and if you're looking to rug, you better get it done quick. And if you're kind of lazy, or if you're amateurish about it, if your project has a lot of red flags like SudoRare did, you better get your rug quick. So, SudoRare. It was supposed to be a decentralized NFT marketplace. It was forked from SudoSwap and LooksRare. I say it was supposed to be a decentralized NFT marketplace because it ended up being a rug pull, and a weak one at that. Here's what I mean. SudoRare shut down. They made it 6 whole hours after launch, and then the scumbags rug pulled for around a measly $850,000 at the time of recording. Now, PeckShield is a blockchain security company, and they sounded the alarm. Although really, I saw it all over my timeline shortly after it happened. So PeckShield put out a tweet. They said, quote, PeckShield alert, rug pull seems like SudoRare rugged 519 Ethereum. SudoRare already deleted its social accounts groups. SudoRare XYZ is down. Stole funds already transferred to 3 new addresses. So one thing that we do know, PeckShield came out later and said that one of those 3 addresses belongs to a user that's registered at Kraken. This should be a problem for at least one of the thieves, because Kraken is a centralized U.S. exchange. This means Kraken follows U.S. Know Your Customers laws. Now, this would be one of those times where regulations work in favor of the community it's expected to protect. In the meantime, SudoRare is gone. They deleted their Twitter account, they pulled the website, all the groups are gone, it's just gone. And as mentioned, there were warning signs about this project. If nothing else, the anonymous team, combined with the insane interest rates that the founder or founders were promising, is insane. One Twitter user, Too Shabby, tweeted, quote, don't participate unless you want to take the risk of losing your money. This team is anon, won't dox, and the possibility of this being a scam is high. They went on to explain that in order to get into the pre-announced airdrop, you would have to take some financial risks that a lot of people just weren't interested in. It was announced that you could stake to a number of SR tokens to earn Ethereum from platform trading fees. Well, the thieves, they sucked up all that money. $315,000 in wrapped Ethereum, $200,000 in XMON, and over $300,000 in Looks tokens. They took all that, and then they swapped it for Ethereum, and then sent that Ethereum to those 3 wallet addresses I mentioned earlier. And so as a result, thieves got away with 519 Ethereum, as well as some Looks tokens and some USDC. Now, rug pulls, they've been around since the beginning, especially targeting DeFi projects. This is because decentralized nature of some projects really appeal to a lot of investors. Unfortunately, for some, this means that a lot of projects are not going to be doxxed. Scammers appeal to the idea of a fully anonymous financial system, and a lot of people fall for it, unfortunately. And what do I mean by a lot? Chainalysis said that rug pulls are the most common form of scam in the whole industry. Last year, $7.7 billion were lost to rug pulls. It seems to be a little better now, at least as far as rug pulls go. Right now, almost 2/3 of the way through the year, and we're only sitting at $2.8 billion. Now, that very well might be a function of a depressed crypto market overall. It's harder to try to hide a scumbag rug pull with fewer projects getting launched. That said, because of the nature of DeFi, pretty much anyone can stand up a website and promote a scam token, hype it all up by promising absurd interest rates on investment, maybe recruit some unwitting pawns to carry the message, and eventually you drain all the wallets of liquidity and disappear, never having doxed yourself. And we make it all too easy. At the time of writing, the global crypto market cap is $1.04 trillion, pretty much flat even on the day. The top 5 cryptos by market cap are Bitcoin down 0.3%, Ethereum down 0.1%, Tether, USDC, and Binance Coin down 1.1%. You can't keep a good app down, apparently. And in this case, Tornado Cash is taking on the role of good app. Now, here's what I mean. Not too long ago, the U.S. Treasury, acting through their Office of Foreign Assets Control, or OFAC, sanctioned Tornado Cash, which means they put it as an entity on their specially designated national sanctions list. Typically, what you'd find on that list are people like drug dealers or human traffickers or terrorists. Rogue nation states like Iran and North Korea, they're on that list. Really, really bad people and bad organizations are on that list. And then there's Tornado Cash. That really raised eyebrows. The thing that really got to people was this. It's not a tool. It's not a company. It's not a group of people. They didn't sanction an organization or a supervillain. They sanctioned a tool. They sanctioned code. They sanctioned free speech. They sanctioned a tool that they claim lets some bad people launder money. And they did so in a very foolish manner, with a big blanket decree that anyone who interacted with Tornado Cash would also find themselves on the wrong side of the law. And so it came to pass that a number of organizations and exchanges and companies and websites decided to get ahead of the curve and ban anything to do with Tornado Cash. Circle froze some 75,000 USDC. Aave, they banned cryptopreneur Justin Sun because he received 1/10 of an Ethereum from anonymous sender through Tornado Cash. No fault of his own. As a result of all this, GitHub took down Tornado Cash. Not only that, but the Microsoft-owned GitHub shut down the user accounts of 3 people who contributed code to the project. Enter Matthew Green. Matthew Green is a cryptography professor at Johns Hopkins University. Well, he published a fork of Tornado Cash with the support of the Electronic Frontier Foundation, or EFF. Kurt Opshall is Green's EFF colleague, and they weren't happy with Tornado Cash being removed from GitHub because they say it's a suppression of freedom of speech. In a note explaining his actions, Green wrote, quote, "In my work as a researcher and instructor at Johns Hopkins, I've made extensive use of the Tornado Cash and Tornado Nova source code to teach concepts related to cryptocurrency privacy and zero-knowledge technology." Opshall, by the way, is not only a lawyer, he's EFF's general counsel. So the question here is clear, right? Is the removal of code ever the appropriate response to sanctions? Opshall argues this, quote, "Improvements and other contributions to this fork or any other are protected speech, and their publication cannot be constitutionally prohibited by the government under either standard of scrutiny." Now, see, this is a problem that a lot of people, they get the whole freedom of speech thing wrong. They get First Amendment wrong. Myself included. I can tell you this, though. Most people start clamoring about violations of their freedom of speech from a company. That dog don't hunt. Usually. In this case, though, it does. Because usually, people are complaining about what a private company has done in the confines of their own private property. In this case, however, the private company is taking steps to protect itself from the government who is seeking to suppress this speech. And it may all end up being unnecessary. I don't think this kind of sanctioning will stand any legal challenge. For one thing, OFAC was incredibly vague for a government agency issuing an order. Their sanction was very vague. Are they talking about Tornado Cash the company, or Tornado Cash the code, or Tornado Cash the protocol? Precision in speech is very important when dealing with both technology and the U.S. government. The global NFT market cap is down 2.44%. According to CoinMarketCap, the top 5 NFT collections by sales volume are ABC plus Virtual Exhibition, followed by Bored Apes, Mutant Apes, Pudgy Penguins, and Azuki. Now keep in mind, some of these collections have very volatile prices, so do your own research. It's been about a month or so since we heard much out of the Three Arrows Capital saga. We did get some news today. Teneo is an advisory firm, and they were the firm that was appointed by a British Virgin Islands judge to liquidate Three Arrows Capital. They scored a major victory today in the Singaporean High Court. You see, Teneo requested access to any financial records that were kept locally, and that request has been granted. This means that Teneo can get greater insight into whatever is left after the failed hedge firm imploded. They'll be able to take inventory of 3AC's assets and get a better, more accurate representation of what they're working with. Now, according to a Bloomberg report, Teneo is busily looking into the liquidation process as it relates to Three Arrows Capital. They're securing assets and maintaining the connections to things like bank accounts and crypto wallets, NFTs, stake in other companies, and properties owned. Looking back at things, Three Arrows Capital was right at the heart of the crypto market downturn. In fact, a case could be made to say that Three Arrows Capital helped exacerbate the problem. Their obfuscated rehypothecation is a big part of that problem. I would say that Suzu and Kyle Davies belong right up there with Do Kwon and Alex Mashinsky as far as culpability goes. Obviously, I can't prove that. I don't know that you could prove such a thing. But at any rate, self-admission from the pair reveals that a combination of one-way bets along with increasingly accommodative lending requirements that fell apart contributed to the start of the downward trend, which was exacerbated by the rest of the market's collapse. Now, this news comes after it was revealed that 3AC filed for bankruptcy in the U.S. That was about a month ago. And while they have filed bankruptcy, it doesn't seem like they're all that interested in moving the process along. The lawyers opposing them claim that the founders have not been all that cooperative. Now, if you remember, that was when they held a Zoom meeting, and someone was logged into the meeting as Kyle Davies and someone was logged in as Suzu. I say someone was logged in because we don't know who it was for sure. They were never on camera. Their avatar was blacked out, and they didn't even speak. So we can't validate that they were ever even there. It wasn't too long after this, though, that Zhu called the process disappointing. He went on to accuse the people that he owes money to of baiting. He posted screenshots of emails from lawyers, Advocates Legal LLP. He claims that their attempts at negotiating in good faith were met by baiting, which is an interesting thing to assert when you abandon your company headquarters. Abandoned. They locked the doors, didn't even show back up to pick up the mail that was piling up through the slot in the door. Now, why is this ruling by the Singapore High Court a victory? It allows Teneo access to bank accounts, properties, and other assets that they just wouldn't have had access to. And, for example, this listing of assets is important as Sue allegedly tried to sell a $35 million bungalow in Singapore last June. Now, at present, Davies and Sue are both on the lam, in the win. Nobody knows where they are. In their interview with Bloomberg, they mentioned that they've received death threats, which I don't agree with. Someone does you wrong, you don't send death threats. You don't intimidate their family, as reportedly happened. You take their ass to court and you let the law do its job. Hopefully, the law gets to resolving the 3AC crisis soon so that their victims get some relief. And that's going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank you, my listeners, because when you stop listening, I will stop talking. Until then, take care of yourselves, but take care of each other too. We'll see you tomorrow night.